Welcome back, people, and welcome to Conqueror's Blade. In this video, I'm going to show you about units, valency, and such things related to that. To start, we're going to go to the unit... Actually, yeah, let's go to the unit clear. I'm going to use two units for this example. First off, I'm going to actually start with the full block here, think of it. I'm going to go into unit details. Now, to start things up, if you're looking at a unit's base stats, please note these will naturally increase as you level the unit. So, for example, I'm just going to use the full block here since, well, you can see a bit of a difference with the ones I have in these very base ones. So you can see the health being 16. Might as well say 7,000. Well, okay, let's just actually go with this. 6,914. And then I'm going to go to mine, in my barracks, and as you can tell, there's nothing here affecting their health. Nothing at all. The only thing that will be affecting their health is the full Bakio's level. As you can tell, they have a whole lot more health than they did before, at nearly 10,000 to be more precise, 9,893 compared to 6,914 for the unleveled ones. Other things that get increased are the damage and the defenses, to some degree. The damage I'm not exactly sure about, but oh well. Going to go back here just to do no comparison. Their defenses have definitely been increased. I'm not going to count the piercing one because that one does have a dark one affecting it before. Otherwise, their damage is up without a doubt on this. Now, going to the unit. This is going to be the part where I showed you how to basically read the stat card of sorts. You have the valencies. Each of these do their own thing. Generally speaking, you're going to have one shy of your max, since you saw at level 1 effectively. So, for Baki will have 17 points. And, well, as you can see, right now they are maxed, and you can see they only got one line done. I'm going to go over here. This is going to show some of the basic stuff. You can see we have terrain effects, unit crates, unit orders, and formations. Going to start with unit crates. If you hover over these, it will say what the unit crate is. Some of these can be basically what they do. Some of these could actually be effects such as fire resistant and also swamp and encumbered. Other things can be, for example, this, which can tell you about one of their abilities, in this case, bracing. They cannot attack stuff that gets to their sides or their wheel, because they're going to keep facing forward. And then you see stuff like this, which is just going to give you a basic thing, like during Season 3 this unit's leadership cost is reduced, and replacement kits are also reduced. Go down to unit orders. These are going to be active things. For most of these, they will have cooldowns. So, for example, we have Sand Form. Order the unit to guard the area around their current position. It's only available when they're in the block formation. And that leads us to formations, which we have 3 of them, Jerry. Jerry speaking, a unit will have 1 to 3. Generally speaking, they will have some form of dispersed, which is to make them space out, make them less susceptible to any form of range fire. Then they have line for the full block here. This is effectively more or less one guy behind the other in a kind of interlocking grid of sorts. And they will and you can guess how that would be effective. They cover a wider area, but they're also thinner. And then you have block for the full block here. This is the only unit I know that has block, by the way. Going to pick another example here, being the Spear Guard. As you can tell, they have the shield wall formation. Shield wall is made to defend towards one area. As I checked, it's also one of the most defensive positions for a spear unit. Spear and shield unit. Then we have the turtle, otherwise known as the tortoise, where the unit will get into a royal box with the shields facing forward, up, and also to the sides, with no shields to the back. This formation is good for a few reasons. Generally speaking, if you set them in a bit of a corridor, units will try to go around the sides, and the spear can poke to the sides, but the spears cannot poke directly behind them, but they can poke to the front and sides. It's good for that way. And then you have the circle, otherwise known in game as the Shikron. That sounds really bad, but oh well. It's out of my mouth now. The unit forms a ring to defend anything in the center. To explain, this is also what I call the safety hole. Effectively, the unit will make a circle with a hole in the middle. That anything in the hole is generally protected from melee and 2-degree range. 2-degree. It's made to help defend them against encirclement. Also good for just having like a bodyguard unit, generally speaking, to it. As you can tell, these guys also have more unit crates. So for example, common ones you'll see are shield bearer, which, well, reduce range damage while the unit's using shields. Some stuff has sluggish. Unit takes time to change direction and build up to full speed. Unit is difficult to set on fire. This one you'll see a lot on purple units, and they take less damage from fire when ablaze. Pretty much every purple unit will have some variation of insulated or fire resistant. I'm saying that now. Then some units can have stuff like these two, which are effectively going to give you little tidbits of information. So for example, heavy armor. This unit is more difficult to harm. Effectively, this means their armor stat is, generally speaking, high. So for example, we are talking like around 1,000 piercing defense on average, or more. We're talking a bunch of slashing defense. We're talking probably a mild amount of blunt defense as well. Please note, blunt defense, don't worry about it. Legitimately, you do not worry about blunt, because blunt is the anti-armor of the game. And finally going to terrain effects. We have desert, plain, seal, steppe, and urban. I have heard two schools of thought on this one. Either it reduces unit speed or increases it, but this is not confirmed, or it will be where they're generally speaking good at. So for example, deserts, hills, effectively deserts and steppe, they're very flat generally. Urban, generally speaking, they're better for like a shield unit, because that means you can kind of like close off a sleep. Hills, I have literally no clue why they say fail. Same for plains to a degree. I guess it means that range units have to shoot above them or something. I really don't know. But now, then we're going to doctrines. Doctrines, to explain. These are going to be empowering your units on most modes besides ranked. To explain this a bit better, you can remove doctrines with Lotus Throttle. It will increase in cost if it's like a legendary, being a gold one. Once you slap this on a unit, it's going to stay with that unit. Even if it promotes, it will stay with that unit, as you saw in the promotion video with my paladins and men at arms. But pretty much, to explain some of this, you will see you can only have one type of these. So for example, I cannot have two defensive types. However, you can have more. There are a few other types. Health, you can only have one of. Damage, you can only have one of. You can have armor piercing with your damage though. Keep that in mind. Otherwise, if I recall right, you can also put stuff like the Assassination Doctrine on. And for some reason, Blunt you can put on anyhow. I don't know why. Since it's damage, but that's an odd thing about it. However, I should mention, you should note what type of damage the unit does specifically. Using the, well, Paladins here, if we go to the Valency tree, then we go to the stats, you can see by base, they deal mainly blunt and piercing damage. Some things, for example, would probably not go well with that, like for example this one. The Epic Sword Document 1 increases the blunt damage, but also increases slashing, which you won't generally use for your, paladins, since they effectively use their sword as a spear. They'll try to poke stuff. So you kind of want to know what you do with your unit, since if you put piercing on a unit, you can't exactly make much use of it. Otherwise, certain unit types can have certain doctrines. So for example, sword and shield units can have iron signs as an ability. Well, spearmen with shields can have, for example, regeneration. You get the idea. Anyhow, let's see. Otherwise, going to the top here, we have the leadership cost. You have 700 leadership. For gear, you can gain up to 800 leadership. So, you will always find people with between 700 and 800 leadership. Then we have the head count. This is how many you'll see in the battle. So, paladins will only have 28 people in the battle. Wounded. This only qualifies for open ward. Effectively, if your unit gets wounded, it will not be as it says, if you get 66% or more of your unit wounded, it cannot enter that battle. And then unit kits. Generally speaking, unit kits are used to replenish your unit. If your unit kits reach below 50, you're going to be taking more damage and dealing less damage by 10%. For both, mind you. And then we add the fact at less than 20, you will not even be able to bring that unit to the fight. Keep in mind, sieges, field battles, and such have no unit loss. Unit kit loss, my bad. With free battles having no unit kit loss, and there also could be events to deal with that. Other things to note. Every unit, per the norm, gets more powerful with valency. I am clarifying that again, and just let me in people's head, because there's probably going to be a good number of new players. And I have told a few before who have forgot. So, but this is going to be the last time I'm telling. Your levels will make your unit better. So use them and try to get them leveled up. Because if you bring like a level 3 crossbow unit for, a level 3 Pavit's crossbowman or a level 3 gold unit in general, they're not going to be as effective as a level 31. Not just because of valencies, but also because of the fact they are dealing less damage and they are taking less when they're max level compared to level 1. Otherwise, going down here a bit, we have, temporary units. When you unlock when you get a temporary unit through either the auxiliary tree, so for example, what's a good one to pick from here? Let's say Imperial Pike Guards. But in my case, I'm going to be using the Iron Reapers. Well, not Iron Reapers, but if you get them to level 15 within, say, the time you've been using them, and then that week ticks over, or the time that you have them, they will go to the very back here and they'll become sealed. Until you fully unlock them. This applies to season units, as you can see with the Berserkers, or the Pavis. And when you fully unlock them, you will have to pay their cost, unless they're a season unit, mind you. So the Berserkers you'll get for free after you do their challenges. But for the Iron Reapers, you'll have to pay their initial recruitment cost. And after that, you're going to have these Iron Reapers with everything you had on them before. And I should mention now, any unit that you have for a time duration cannot use Darkwinds of any kind. So treat this as a sort of cryo period, but keep in mind, the unit will be better as you level it. And I broke my promise, but oh well, I'm kind of on that, so that's my bad. And now, some other things to note. Units in Season 1, otherwise known as the Tech Tree, well, Unit Tech Tree, to get them to the maximum power, you want to resource these. Some promotion units, like for example my Paladins, will be using this stuff, such as armor reinforcement, improved chainmail, and so on. But you get the idea. Effective rate to make them better, simply do, if they're a promoted unit, they take from the unit trees upgrades as well. So your men-at-arms will benefit from this stuff immediately, and then when you make them into paladins, they will benefit from, the paladins will benefit from it as well. Same for spear sergeants and stalwarts. Same for, if I recall, I think yellow men and their stuff. And if I recall right, yellow men become armor goals. But you get the idea. Pretty much. The benefits of that unit will, from the tech tree, will carry over when it gets promoted. So use it, abuse it. Otherwise, that's about it. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any ideas, stick them down in the comment section. I'll read it. And I might make a new video if I see I made either a major mistake or there's enough stuff I didn't know about to explain. Oh, and I should mention one more thing about units, since I have seen it brought up before. I'm going to go down to the Javelins. Let's see. Oh, wait, they're in the melee. My bad. And, let's see, one of these should be what I'm looking for. Not looking for ammo capacity, I am looking for block break. To put it, when something says block break, it means it can break the shield. I have had people ask that in the past. And well, when they break the effectively it makes them break shield units' shields faster, which means they're going to be vulnerable to getting attacked. From more sources, and generally speaking, shield units are not as strong without that shield. But anyhow, people, this is Honor Guard the Vanguard, signing off.